with an hour and 24 minutes.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, guides. Seriously, that's funny. I'm not even looking at the time either. So this is a private streaming video right now with me, Bill, and Gail in the background, and then me and Bill in the foreground doing the channeling. And I keep going outside to make sure that these beings that are here are actually for our highest and best good. And they said, or for neither. Like they're not really here for any other reason other than they're just watching. Yeah, they're just watching.
Kind of watching for the universe more than for us.
I almost think she left a pathway open to this world, and they kind of like are looking in, going like, what is this? And they're wearing like radiation outfits, thinking that they're gonna like die if they open up the outfits. And I keep asking. Usually I can say like disrobe, like, and they'll boom, it'll be gone, and I can't get them to take them off because they're real people.
Because they're real beings.
Well, just think of it. When we first went to the moon, we're all wearing spacesuits.
Like. Yes, that's what they look like.
Because there's no advanced knowledge of what the atmospheric condition is.
Yeah.
So they're doing it for protection, and they may be coming from a planet that has a slightly different atmosphere. And even though our atmosphere is compatible for us, it may not be for them.
Yeah, and okay, so wait, no, they are here for a reason. They're the ones from Xenon.
Yeah, you were talking about Xenon.
Xenon, yeah. So let me see.
Are we recording already?
Yeah, I just started recording. And it's funny you said as soon as I started recording, you said we have an hour and 24 minutes.
Can I go through right now?
Yeah.
I think that people like the fact that they're just whatever. Okay, so they're saying that they're like they sound like Darth Vader, you know, like they're breathing the oxygen. Like I'm not sure the power of that is on. I don't think the power on the bar is on. Over there, right there. Yeah. Okay, maybe it is on. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably on. Anyways, they're who do you guys belong to? You say we're waywards.
It's on now.
There really are ships, but they're not in the 3D. They're okay, let me call in our guides. So we're just gonna call in our guides. We had supposedly like God the Father in our house yesterday, and he was going by the name On, A-N. But I don't believe that he's the highest. I think that he's part of this creation. Yeah, he's like little men above him. It's, you know who it is? It's Prime Creator. Remember Prime Creator?
Yeah, I remember Prime Creator. There is no individual personality God. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
If you go beyond, you get to the electrical spark that started it all.
Yeah, and see, I go past the electrical spark now, and it turns into, I've gotten past the spark. And the spark turns into what they call it, like a nebulotic cloud. Cloud. And then before the nebulotic cloud, there's like jelly. It looks like a jellyfish almost. Like it's plasma almost. And then you burst through the plasma, and then there's nothing but just like whooshing air. Like you're in front of somebody's mouth, like they're breathing.
Right.
And so I've never been able to get back up there until just now. So I'm like right in front of them. It's funny. I'm somebody's breath. And that's what, or I don't know if I'm somebody's breath, but I'm breath. Where am I going into? There is a being. Where's the spark? The spark. See, if I'm in that being that's breathing, the spark, the Tao, all that stuff is right inside of its head. But I'm probably seeing it as a being just because. Can you see it, Gail?
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're seeing, I believe.
Yeah. What is that? What are you seeing? Is it? It's like it looks like your people, the ones where you're standing on the top of the mountain.
The Indians.
Those the one where
Tribes.
they said, do you remember the dream you had? And you said, I remember the dream where you're standing on a mountain and your people had died. Right. I feel like we're the god of that. Who are those people again? It's the
Anasazi.
Yes.
Like the Anasazis.
But it's all metaphoric. I mean, when we get to the highest levels, it's what we're able to interpret for the essence of the meaning of it, but it's, you know, the visual images are not necessarily.
Yeah, so let me channel them.
Fixed.
So what I'm channeling today is XE, NA plus and NA minus. So it's XE and then NA plus and then NA minus is there, and then I see an O going like this, an O2 going like this, just circling around it, and I don't know what any of that means. And then I see AXION, axion, and there's like a line going from me straight through the XE over to another me that's over there, and they just pulled me through it, and so now I'm in me.
Are they describing a nucleus and like the essence of an atom? And these are the charged particles?
Yes. I knew you would be able to answer the question, didn't you? It took 2 seconds and Bill answered it.
Yeah, I mean,
And I've been seeing this for the last
but
like
so I
2
have a
weeks.
question about it. So
Okay.
what is this the atom from which the universe emerged? What is this atom?
We want to help you find the God particle.
Okay.
Your mission is to find the God particle. We've spoken of the fifth element being space, but truly the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th elements are all pertaining to the God particle, in that when you get to the 13th, it's all inclusive of a particle that can make all, be all, see all, say all, and speak all. And
So within
man
this
can
particle,
really
there's
conform to
all
anything.
consciousness. All of consciousness is within this particle.
yes,
All consciousness emanates from this particle or pre-exists in this particle.
so
There's
if
no
we
time.
speak that there's no time, well, the best words we can use to use this channel's mind is this is Michael, by the way, he's here, is the best way that we can, I haven't seen him forever, but hi Michael! Father Time is here, I haven't seen him forever. And Mary, she's huge, she's sitting on her throne over there. The best words we can use to describe this in this channel's mind is that it emanates from, and the moment it leaves, it becomes one of its own, in its own, of its own, believing it is the one. But at some point, after about 70 million fold, this is when your God begins.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much more that human beings can capture than just, oh good, we know what God is, we know that the spark it ends, but we must go into the spark. We must go into the existence within it, within that one little shard. And Einstein says, see? And he knocked over Newton. I don't know why.
The image I get is it's almost as if it's pulsating, and between the pulses there is change, but from the point of view of eternity there is no change.
Yes.
So it's paradoxical, so that it allows for creation and for variation as if time existed, but it actually is outside of time.
Yes, but one thing we want people to start to appreciate, and this is why you, Bill, wanted to do the hourglass on the book cover, is that time is real.
Mm-hmm.
So time not being real is...
Well, time is real at this dimension of
this dimension and a few others,
Yeah.
in the sense that until we reach a certain state of mind, we're stuck in here.
Mhm.
So we're
And I would
trying
say
to get ourselves
probably
out.
many dimensions above us are stuck in time as well.
Yes, all the way up
And-
into the 7th.
And so it's great that there's timeless and eternity and all like that, but it doesn't really have any practical application
Yeah.
for us. We are running out of time.
We're running out of
literally,
time. Mhm.
and we need to assist in catalyzing others to create greater awareness of what it really means to be a human being, because at the present time, the human beings that are dominating and controlling this planet are going in the wrong direction.
Yes, and the spiritual leaders are beginning to allow to sink into people's minds. There is no time. It's not a big deal. You have eternity. And therefore, people get more of a lackadaisical behavior towards life, thinking, oh, well, that's fine. But what they don't realize is that heaven is work too. And that there's work to be done, in the sense that if you're here because you put yourself in here. others were put in here as more of a purgatory-ish type of thing that happened 2.3 billion years ago, before the quote-unquote fall of man. Fall of man was a play, almost, in a sense, meant to symbolize the fall of a star that then became a sun. And that sun, then only having a certain amount of energy to emit, created a solar system around it. That solar system feeds, it nurtures that entire solar system. But what happens is, as something starts as a star, the nuclear fusion that happens between the particles and the stuff is gnashing against each other, and it's making it look like it's light. So the stars are not really burning. They are not fire. They are nuclear. But when gravity gets a hold of the stars and combusts with helium, and they have said a word I can't understand. I think it's xenon. The star starts to concave upon itself, and that's how a field, the original torus or an original field, is created. It then falls and lands into orbit somewhere, floating about in the heavenly realms, and that's a sun, and that's what you guys are. You guys are the sun. So the sun, S-U-N-S-O-N. By using the power that we can teach you through this, we can transmute and transform all plastic into fuel. We can change the world quite literally by bringing in this mode of electricity, or lack thereof electricity, whereby the sun is not necessarily needed, because Newton goes, let me talk. Hold on, they're all trying to talk. Stop! Somebody be a gatekeeper. They're very excited. There's a line of them all right here, and then there's these guys here, and then there's those guys watching, and then there's something up there, and they're behind me. They're all right here, and they're all talking at once. Higher self? She says you are your higher self. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So as we step into this field today, we will sort out these energies. First, we must start with this. The protocol for what it is that your life is that you are an explorer, Bill. Gail, you are an explorer as well, as is Marissa. Marissa, why, thank you. Wow. As is.
Makes me think of the kids show. I think it's Dora and the Explorer. We're all really just little kids exploring.
Yeah, we're explorers. You are all explorers, but what you are in essence trying to find is a way to create energy without the use of something else, to be your own energy source. Mm-hmm. And God is its own energy source. And what has happened is the stories of angels falling, beings falling. When the beings fall, they lose their connection to the source or the energy. So really, light isn't necessarily good, and darkness isn't necessarily bad. Light can be generated as long as you have the electricity. And electricity can be generated as long as you have a mode to generate it. So the way that people in this world are looking at it is light is good, energy is good, energy is ever withstanding as long as I'm tuned into God, but most are tuned into the sun, S-U-N. And the sun is now a meteor flying through the sky, and all of your souls have been moved to another planet. So you're all on another planet now, and all the souls that are still in the sun, inside of the old earth, are perishing fast, because they don't realize that they don't realize where they are. They're dying. They're frozen. They're not burning. They're frozen. The sun froze over. Did you see that?
I saw it yesterday. Frozen.
And
we were talking about Frozen.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I saw me and Jeff frozen. I saw me and Jeff like this. I was like, we were like, like frozen. So there's pieces of us, of our consciousness, everyone's consciousness, that are trapped on Earth. It froze March 23rd. The moon and the sun merged.
That's the moon, because that's the solstice.
That was when that blood moon was, I bet. I'll have
It
to look it
is,
up.
because
Well, in
spring
what dimension
solstice-
did this happen? Because for the people listening,
Third and fourth. It happened here.
but-
It's the lower
Everyone's dead.
dimensions, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone's dead.
I
Like we're in
believe that.
heaven now, almost. Like everyone's dead. Everyone died.
so anyone here is in heaven.
Yeah.
But they're still
Thinking they're in hell.
Yeah, they're still dealing with their same misery.
Yeah, and the point is that if there's still
Less affected.
so everyone
Yeah.
that's here is in heaven. Everyone made it. Everyone made it through the ascension process. There's no ascension process anymore. If you're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. This is why so
Well,
many
I
perish before.
I have to question as the skeptic here.
Mhm.
So
Me too.
just in a few 2 weeks ago, you had this young man, 19-year-old. I hate to even call him a man. He was a monster. Went in and shot people for no reason. That was after March 23rd. How can we be in heaven and these kinds of crazy acts still take place?
This is the thing: is it's instant manifestation of thoughts. So
Mm.
people living in the past, living in their inner child, are bringing their demons through. This is why we wanted to show you the onlookers here, the waywards. There's really no way of keeping them out because they're attached to Barbara prior to March 23rd. They're not bad, they're just here. So there's almost echoes of the old world trapped within the cellular memory of each human being. Do we want to wipe each human being? No. We don't want to wipe anybody of their memories, but really, can you remember anything that was positive in your past? You always remember the negative. You remember the things that were painful.
I'm not so sure. I remember some positive things.
Because
hitting
you are a
home.
positive person. But these people that are trapped in the past will think of, I was beat and I lost all my money and then I made a bunch of money, and instead of embellishing upon how they made all their money, they say, and then I lost it again 15 years later. So what we are wanting to do is to bring about an easy fusion of let's call it a cellular scrub down for individuals. There will be people that will want to come and use these machines that we could create, but we will not get over rambunctious, as we know that there are other things for you guys to do on this planet. But we could quite possibly create a tanning salon looking booth where people would go in and they would have their cells cleared and cleaned using different gases such as helium, nitrous oxide, barium, nickel, Ni, what's Ni, Xe, and it, but at the same time, if you look at it, it could quite possibly look as if you were trying to build a hydrogen bomb too and destroy the planet. So there's this stuff from the future where if somebody was to go through trauma, there's no PTSD in the future because they have their cells cleansed. So we had to bring it back so that it could exist then. So this is just a little speckling of it. We don't expect you to build memory erasing machines, but we do want to bring the technology in through you, and we do want the three of you to get together so that we can channel this information, because it will help you in your life today. It will help you, Gail, with your fountain of youth that you are creating, because it allows for cell reversal. It allows to look younger. Human beings don't have to die. The belief of humans die from the moment they are born is of the old Earth. The new Earth, as long as we are in the present, as long as you are in the present on the Earth, and we do not even like to call it Earth, we'll just call it your place of residence within your consciousness, because the planets are ever changing depending on where they are in the sky at any given moment, because you are the sun and you created the planets. Sometimes you're Earth, sometimes you're Jupiter, sometimes you're Neptune, sometimes you're Pluto, sometimes you're Xenon, sometimes it all changes. But the biggest thing is that you enjoy this life now and know the power that you have inside to make very big things happen very easily. So releasing the beliefs that anything takes a very long time should be released at this moment for this channel, as well as for the two of you. This is, Barbara's walking in. She says, finally.
Who's what?
Barbara. She's dove through like an amoeba and like, almost like she were in a placenta almost.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, ugh, I don't miss being in here. She's like, ugh. She just wants to say thank you for being you, Bill.
Well,
But there's nobody else on the planet that's you, and she's frazzling your hair. Like that. Like he can leave it how he wants.
Does
like
she
she was
know
watching.
what she's up
She's
to?
sticking up for him, like a mom does.
Yeah. Well,
Because you told him to do his hair.
what is Barbara's
I've been seeing that for
mission for the next time year or so? Because I know she's busy as can be. So what is she doing? What is she up to? Can she communicate?
Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna lay backwards. Okay, let me see. Barbara, okay, so as long as it's for my highest and best good, as long as she's fully not have, she goes, yeah, I got it. I wouldn't hurt you. Okay. She says, been there, done that. She says, philanthropy and philosophy and understanding outside of these realms of thinking is really cool, but having your feet planted firmly on the ground is even cooler. She says, so do that. Oh, sorry. She's bossy, huh? Is she bossy?
Very. She's a teacher.
She just yanked my foot down.
Yeah,
she says,
no,
if
she
you're going to
doesn't
be my
mess around.
student,
Anybody that wasn't on board, she would leave behind. She didn't have time for.
yeah, she just told me if you're gonna have your head in the clouds, you have to have your feet on the ground too. I was saying it as she was telling me. Okay.
Well, it sounds like she was giving me advice for what I should do for the next.
She's telling all of us.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
we
yeah,
should be doing.
she says feet firmly on the ground. She says I'm still part of the team.
Yeah. Cool.
She says I was visiting Marissa here. She called me by name in person because I was her mother in another lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
We had a pact. I'm gonna cry. That we are gonna do this together.
Well, we still can.
Yeah.
We still
Nothing's
will.
changed.
I can't believe I didn't call you guys to that.
Well, nobody could have predicted she was so vibrant. She was going to come down here. I mean, it just.
She says it's how it had to be. There's too much negativity and there's too much anger on the planet for all of us to be down there. She says, look at this mess. And she's going, plop, plop. She's got like placenta all over her. She says, we are literally in like the placenta of a rhino. Like she's literally showing like this rhinoceros. It's like this big thing. Why are you showing me in the middle? She says, geez, okay, fine.
Well, I get it already. To get through, just to be born. Because Barb was all about the birth of the new human.
Oh.
And so what the metaphor is to be born, but it's much messier than with a normal human birth. Normal human birth, you can move through the placenta and you're in the atmosphere, you're in the earth. There's heavier muck right now than there's ever been. So the metaphor is it's as if we have to move through the placenta of a rhinoceros. It's heavy, and there's no guarantee that just because we're ready to be born that we can be born.
Exactly. She says, good, yes. See, we're like two peas in a pod. And she says, except we have our own peas. You're not in the same one. She's funny, dry humor. She says we have our own peas and we bounce the other pod against each other.
Yeah.
She says, but the new essences that want to project into the planetary form that we would call Earth, or we'd call this living space, cannot get through the muck. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if, and I don't say almost as if, it's as if I am literally in a rhinoceros's placenta right now speaking to you. She's in like an animal that doesn't have an ego's placenta, and like a brand, like she's projecting her consciousness into it and emitting it onto Earth. That's the only way they can get through is through animals. She says we had to come down through animals to begin. It's the way that the rays work, the way that if I was to transmit into there right now, I'd blow up the place. So we have to come in a form, but our form is too delicate and too gentle for the atmosphere of where the thoughts are right now, where people are living.
Does that relate back to the initial guides that were here having to wear gas masks because it's too gentle, and the negative energy of this planet right now would destroy them?
Yes. She says it's actually it's a positive ionic charge that is beyond any. She goes, your mind. She's trying to use my mind. Sorry, I don't know stuff, Barbara. Here, let me do this psychically. She's saying that she's trying to use channel 3, but my brain doesn't have it. Hold on, let me go out. So she says better. She says, you don't have to be nervous. I think I'm nervous in her presence. You don't have to be nervous. I said, well, sorry. My foot. She says, there's a proper way to do things, and if you do it the proper way, then you don't have to do it again. She says, if you 3 get together and I come in and I make it a point to be there, then we can put our minds together and we can create something that's really quite simple. The 2 of you are running around doing too much. You guys are running around and you guys like to be busy. You like to be social. You always have, and you like to be successful and you like to have money and you like to have all these things, but there's a much easier way to have a lot more money and be sailing on a boat instead and just be enjoying your time and working on creating and working on bringing new information into this planet that I couldn't even get into me because of the frequency of my body. It's not even necessarily the frequency, it was the tissue. Our skin is actually an organ. Our skin is actually an organ, and that organ is actually attached to a chakra that's about 6 feet above our head. And the health of that chakra up there, or trumpet, that is where your I am, if you call it in this channel's mind, the I am, would trumpet through. And that's what creates the symphony of who you are. And whatever you're thinking as you're trumpeting, it's creating this in this creation of yours. So the 3 of you have become the trumpeter. And you can, in essence, reverse age. And anyone truly can, and I know that, and I had found that, and ETs know that, or should we say we know that. She's with a bunch of ETs. I see them all like holding space for her. They're like going like this, like making sure she's staying down here. She's really not liking being in the rhinoceros. It's like,
it's not Barbara's vibe at all.
No, it's a rhinoceros. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's like it's a dinosaur. Yeah. But she says, I'm willing to work and continue working because my work was to continue for 3 more years. And I'm not saying that you guys have to work with me for 3 more years, but I would like to get the information that I was finishing out so that I can be at peace and just know that it was done.
Yeah, well, we've got at least 3 years worth of books already, so what's a few more? Adam, it can come through me, it can come through anyone she chooses.
But she wants them to go through you. But she wants to. She says was she writing a book on creation?
Yes.
Okay. She says that's very important to her, and she wants us to work on that. That it's almost like a book that will be like written by her, and then you write something or something like that.
Yeah.
And they combine them, and there's channelings that come in.
It's a way of connecting with her.
Yeah. We can do that. Maybe you will be the channel, and it'll be a Marissa, Bill, Barbara.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. I don't want to throw myself in it because my ego said, don't say that out loud. But she's saying, say it. And then she poked me. So then I said, okay, fine.
Well, we can still diss you as just the channel. Don't
just make me the channel. Yeah.
We'll just be the channel.
Yeah.
We'll let you have a few words too.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe they'll call me Marissa every once in a while. But she says, Einstein and Newton here, she says, and Lao Tzu back there, she says, they're holograms. She says, they're holograms what are anagrams?
Holograms or anagrams?
What's an anagram?
Anagram is just taking the letters and putting them in a different way.
Yeah, she's saying that there's holograms and then there's anagrams.
Well, they're just disguises.
Oh,
they're
okay.
just costumes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You have a word and then you rearrange the letters and it becomes a different word.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a game, really.
Yeah, she's kind of like moving them around and stuff like that.
It's fun because you get to play. Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Oh,
She
okay.
loves
So,
words.
yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, because she goes, what? She says, well, words are great. She's like,
Yeah.
but look at this. She says, Na, sodium, put that in a mirror, and you got An.
Yeah.
An is a God being.
Mhm.
You are a God being reflecting upon yourself.
Mhm.
So God reflecting upon itself, sodium, positively, negatively charged through the it's like a thin layer. It's a membrane.
Mhm.
Membrane within the brain creates the fatty goop that this channel was calling a what I'm trying to think of the word that I was using, but she's saying it's like that goop. It's a gel, and it's actually something that's called myelination. So the
I'm not
chemicals
familiar.
spin around
Mhm.
a axon, and that's how the brain thinks. So if we can get you to understand what we're trying to say through her, somebody, this is Einstein and Freud, and then Barbara's still here. Barbara's like, I'm gonna leave, this feels really gross. She says, I love you too dearly, but I'm not gone by any means, but I am gone. So I'm at peace, but I also want to help the two of you to be at peace, and the two of you work too hard to not be where I think you should be. Which she's saying you're happy, but
Yeah.
but she wants you to
Less stress.
no stress.
No stress.
She wants
Okay.
no stress. She wants the two of you to not get stressed. That people could be doing what you're doing, and you guys could just be just like sitting on the beach. Just Phil could say, "Hey Siri, send this email. Thank you. Bye bye. Bring me my drink and my lobster."
You got me.
Yeah.
Well,
But
we're doing that next week. We're going on a 90-foot boat down Pensacola with Mike, and
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
what we'll be doing, eating lobsters.
Yeah, with,
There you go.
discussing sex trafficking and opioids.
There you go. Really
Yeah,
interesting. That's my big thing right now.
yeah.
Not sex trafficking. That's my cousin. So now the next person coming in is Bill's higher self.
Okay.
So Bill, he says you have a question for him, or he wants to.
He has a question for
thank
me,
you,
or he
Barbara,
wants
for
me to ask
coming.
him a question.
Yeah, Barbara's
Bye,
Barbara's
Barbara.
kissing you guys on the head, and
Love
you, Barbara.
Aw. Bye, mom from a past life. I feel like I just lost somebody.
Yeah,
I feel
you
so
did.
sad. I just. Ugh.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, that's
just
a big
larger
loss.
than life.
You would have loved.
Yeah,
I've
she's
watched
so
videos of her
yeah.
for no reason, just like
Yeah.
you know.
So it's just her energy. I just
Yeah.
wasn't.
She
Her
was
energy was so positive. She's the
Yeah.
most positive person. We have her in Tapping the Source laughing about, well,
Our
we're either
extinction.
going to evolve or we're going to be extinct. Either
Yeah.
way, it's like
And
she's
it's like it
smiling.
doesn't matter. Just get the picture and go with what.
But what I want to know from Bill's higher self is where are you, Bill's higher self, and what are you? Are you a soul, or were the souls created by consciousness to come live down here? And like, what are we? Like, where's Brian? Where's Bill's brother? Like, like, I've gotten to the point, this is me, this isn't the channel, I've gotten to the point where I just think it's all stupid. Like, what's the point anyways? If we're eternal and if we're just going to go somewhere afterwards, like, what's the point? And your higher self, Bill, just got very serious, and he said to break the loops. I don't know what he means by
To
that.
break the loops.
To break the loops.
Oh, it makes sense to me.
He says that you loop and you loop and you
Exactly.
loop and you loop and you live the same thing over and over and over and over until you.
But I
get
think
like
it's
a
not
little
just
loop.
for me. I think it's for everyone.
Everyone.
I mean, that's the whole idiocy of human beings. We're not evolving. That's why Barbara is relevant to this whole session. Barbara had a vision that we were supposed to evolve.
Oh my God! It just all hit me.
And
Okay.
instead of evolving, what human beings have been doing is repeating the same cycle over and over and over again. Now, sometimes we repeat the cycle with greater technology, we create it with different clothes, we create it with different goodies, but it's basically the same cycle. And, it's boring.
And literally the same lives. When we die,
Yeah.
we go and we live the same life over again, because souls are created not by the dark side, but the souls are created like they're showing me the souls as being the as like it looks like a sheet. The soul is like, I think, the astral body. It looks like a sheet almost. It's like kind of like a sponge. Oh, I used to see him as SpongeBob. That's funny. That's like the soul, and then it's like the movie screen. We get stuck inside the movie screen. It's a written script, and when we get out of the movie and we can then change the movie, then great. We're still in a movie theater, still in like creation. And what we need to do is get out of the whole soul game and get into the human game and work with evolving our humans, not just the human soul. Understanding that the human soul is eternal and it's just going to live that same life over and over and over and over, and then you die, and then you go be your brother next lifetime, and then Gail's Marissa, and then Marissa's Bill, and then Bill's that guy, and then it's you just keep switching because your consciousness is what is going to continue on. But the spark, which is the awareness, is that which is in everything. And that's not what needs to evolve, but that's what's bored out of its mind because it's trapped in a consciousness that's trapped in a soul. And the soul just keeps living over and over and over, thinking it's going through heaven, and then it's going back down, going to heaven and going back down. And where we want to get to is, and this is that prime creator guy, where we want to get to is the fact that we are within ourselves God, and we can create anything.
Well, we want to
and
get
then we
to
can go create our own worlds.
Authentic creation, which is different than loop creation.
Yes.
Loop creation is a farce.
It's a practice.
The illusion of creation without actually creating. It's the repetition of emotions, because the one thing that's actually unique is the experience of emotions. But instead of creating new emotions, we're just repeating the same emotions over and over and over.
Yes, and joy is the highest state of bliss, so to speak, for the underworld. And the religions and the science and all of these things that are taking people into joy, you can only experience joy once for each thing that you do in your life. If you win the lottery twice, you're not going to feel the same way the second time. So you can only have that joy. But you can have, as Barbara was sharing, this exuberant love, or this sustaining love. But the most important thing that we want to bring in is the ability to be neutral, and that love can just be that love between friends, between those that are in love, but can sit together for 6 hours not saying a word and just be comfortable in that. And that's what we want to help people to begin to understand, because people want those emotions to feel and to remember and to know that the neutrality of what we truly are is just a resting state, is what will allow each of you, your goal, to go on to become creators of your own planets and worlds and beings. So it's almost like you made it through the practice round. You've graduated, and now you've moved into the phase of becoming creation gods, creation beings, and now it is to the point where you are creating for real. It's not fake anymore. There's no dark side, so to speak, to come take you down. The only thing that can take you down is your own internal stuff, your own internal dark side. And the rate at which the three of you can heal at by directing your attention towards something is really quite fascinating, in that the physician, the technician, and the musician. I'm a musician, really. Bringing these together, it's bringing together a whole new level of creation, in that we are going to be bringing your authors, your people, the festivals, the lights, the experience to individuals. And the amount of work that each of you are going to have to do this is not much, because this is finally where we have spoken of the Christ mass media revolution, because people have not forgiven themselves, and those that have not forgiven themselves, just for the smallest thing, have pieces of their consciousness trapped in the old earth that no longer exists, and they are quite literally in hell. So by bringing about forgiveness to people of not only money, but forgiveness of debt through money, through actions, through behaviors, through anything really, as things are forgiven, those pieces of them come back, and then they can truly live happy. Because that's really what we want to do. We want to live happy whether we're dead or alive. You don't know whether you're dead or alive. You wouldn't know the difference. You're dead or you're alive, you're dreaming or you're awake. You don't know. When you're in it, you're in it, you're in it, you're feeling it. So that really doesn't really have any sort of weight in this conversation. We just want to be in a state of happiness and not feel judged and not feel guilty and not feel angry and not feel fearful and not feel stressed at all, ever again. Okay, that was your higher self.
Okay.
He's like, we just don't want to feel stressed. Are you guys stressed?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get us unstressed.
But I'm not even sure why I'm stressed.
Because there's stuff to do and you didn't know what it is that you need to do. And I think I'm a part of that. And don't worry, you don't have to do anything.
Well, that's kind of it. I mean, like, I go from, oh, nothing's really happening. The last hour, no one's called. There's no email. Oh. And then, 500 emails coming. And most of them are saying, no. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it. But in the back of my mind, I still have this sense, I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm supposed to be doing something. And so it creates stress. And it actually, in the short term, creates more stress as I do less, because I feel this missing.
How would you feel, Bill, about being the publisher that comes out that allows people to speak their truth?
Well, that's what I am doing.
And this is where we're taking you.
I feel like I'm doing the right things in the right way, and I'm even making some good adjustments so that, I still get things started, but I make it very clear that I have nothing to do other than start things and be there at the end. And so, my time.
But actually stating that you are allowing people to be and speak their truth,
right,
carries more weight than you could possibly imagine. And this is Gail's higher self just came in, and she says even one word changed through coming from that side to this side, as you know, can change the frequency of something. So somebody's entire life can be skewed and changed by an editor. Their entire life path can be changed by a publisher. There are frustrated authors, frustrated speakers, frustrated coaches. Every day, a new millionaire is born through the self-help industry. We're not talking mind, body, spirit. That is, Gail and you just went, like ghetto.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's how to make money, how to lose weight, how to be healthy, how to make your mind more, how to develop more. It's sciencey, but it's consciousness driven,
right,
like stuff,
right.
Heart based stuff. But what Gail, your higher self, goes, here honey, you're mired over there too. So you're letting Bill talk, of course. So Bill, you moved out of the way. Bill says, so we stand for the individual. We don't stand for ourselves. We stand for the individual. We are neutral, but we're not going to publish crap.
Exactly.
So if they have crap, that's not going to go. He says, go somewhere else. We're not going to say, speak whatever you want and just make us look like idiots. He says, but it's so funny. Bill just came charging him. They can't just say anything. We need to agree with it. But we stand for something. We stand for life. We stand for the living, and we stand for those who want to be alive. Those that want to live life and want to be life. And this is why we have been bringing this information through the channel as, I keep hearing the I Am Life Network instead of I Am Light. I Am Life Network. I Am Life, like I Am Life Publishing, or I Am Life Media, or I Am Life. And I see concerts and shows, and I see all different types of people. Those are your festivals, probably. So he says, just by changing the field of your company into just a company of truth, a company of wisdom, is going to just shifting that in you today. This is why we wanted to meet today, because big things are coming up. And there are individuals that you've taken to other publishers that have not gotten the publishers that you thought they would get, because of the fact that they either didn't have a message that matched with the publisher, because the publisher had a message, so to speak. So the energies conflicted, and even if they went well together, they didn't happen. So by you staying and being the vortex and being neutrality and being the battery for each of these authors that are coming in, having the marketing that holds and sustains them and keeps them out there and keeps them in front of people. This company will be bigger than any publishing company has ever been very quickly when we bring all of these pieces together, and this channel will be a part of that, and everything you're doing right now will be a part of that. But a lot of what you're doing right now won't need to be done anymore because you know everyone. You've got all the pieces. Barbara says the anagram, that you've got all the pieces. You just got them mixed up. All you have to do, like in a game of chess, is just line them up and then let them do their jobs, and then you guys kick back. Bill, you write your book. Gail, do you write music?
Well, I've been asked by Universal to start being in some of their meetings, Universal Studios. So who knows? I may be back into music.
Wait,
Universal Studios.
Ooh, I just got chills. Yes, no, you have to go back to music, is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't quit your day job. Like Bill says.
It's interesting. Before, when you were talking about the
you.
musician, the physician, the technician,
Yeah.
you're the physician, she's the musician. I guess I'm the technician.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I saw that, and Gail was definitely.
I got it mixed up. Yeah.
It's also music.
Yeah, it just came.
Music, and because Gail's been very clear on this. If there's any way to heal this planet, it's got to be through music.
Absolutely.
Because it's the only universal language. It's the only universal language.
Absolutely, 100%. I have a video of me and Madison. She started the other day. I said, "So does light heal, Madison?" She goes, "Ah." She started singing the Little Mermaid song.
She's such a magical baby.
Yeah, she started singing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" She's saying that music heals, which
right. I've got it. You're good. We've got another half hour.
Okay, cool. Good. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna
Go ahead.
get up and go to the bathroom and then sit down. So what? Okay, wait, hold on, real quick. Oh, sorry. Here comes all Beethoven says, "You rang."
Beethoven. That's funny.
You know who Beethoven is? He is. If I follow him all the way up, he's Mark from the Bible, and then he's also Bill. Beethoven.
I could see that.
Yeah, he has a musical side in the way.
Well, it's also
writes.
what I identify with is also being deaf.
He was deaf. He was deaf and he was a musician. Doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does. Because real music is numbers. You don't need to hear it if you can feel it. And you can feel it through the numbers. Neil Young has just written a book called Feel the Music. And it's the feeling that you get from music. And yes, for 99.9%, it's the auditory. That's what music is. But there's also music is vibration, and so you can feel it as well as hear it.
Yeah.
So I've never done a study, and it's interesting. I'd like someone to do it, but I'm sure deaf people have an experience with different kinds of music, even though they can't hear.
Yeah. They can feel the vibration. Yeah. Why does my camera say Carl on it? Literally says Carl across it. Carl Zeiss. Who's Carl Zeiss?
No idea.
That's so weird. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, no, I have all the pictures in my head of what they're showing me. They're dumping all the information in here and they're downloading it to all of us, and only a tenth of what they're telling me is coming through my mouth. I'm frustrated that I can't.
This all kind of makes sense to me, actually. And one thing that I've been observing, all of the other publishers, maybe with one or two small exceptions, are too concerned with making money. And by wanting to make money, they miss out on actually making money. Because you make the money when you take away the need, and you just do what you do because you know it's great. But so there's by default. Yeah, well by default there is a need. There's a need to change publishing. And by default, I think that's where I'm positioned to do it. Honestly, reluctantly, because I prefer that the existing publishers do it, and they seem to get the money. So
they have their corporation about
well, because they're not making money. We have a club.
Now, could you believe when Barbara was here, she is having so much fun on the other side, she couldn't stay long, she wanted to get back to what she was doing. And what she was feeling. She's excited.
Yeah.
And she'll be here for us, you know, but she's moving on. See, I knew that this morning. I took this down because I knew, oh, she's moving on now. She's in a good place. That even if she's in the placenta, I think that's just to come down here. I don't know what you think.
I'm not as aware.
Yes,
no, I'm really not. Because I don't put my attention there. Maybe I could be as aware, but my attention is just on everyday life and going from point A to point B and following. I wake up every morning and I want to pay attention to what am I supposed to be doing today, and that's why I go check my emails. My emails often tell me. Are we recording right now or not?
we're recording.
What?
No, we're not.
I'm recording.
Oh, I'm not. Listen. Yeah, no, I hit stop for a second.
Yeah, because I gave away all of our corporate secrets.
Yeah. Oh, this is the music. Is this the same guy from Oceanside? Love the song. That's sweet. It's right. It's not right. That's the one that's to hear.
That's nice.
Oh, wow. It's really like that. Thank you. Impression of compassion. Ask me to stand behind you so nobody has access to your occiput, for this is where your light lies. Wow. For you're truly a falling star that is now a sun. And you're ready to create a living in. Whose song was that?
Oh, who's singing that song?
I don't know. I was in trance when I turned it on. I wake up from my meditation. I wake up from my session. Yeah, I wake up from my session. Well, that's where I saw.
I love this idea of a falling star as a rising sun.
Yeah. Gives me goosebumps.
I know, but
Was that in the song or was that just in the channel?
Me, I said the compression of compassion, faith, and truth causes a falling star to become a sun. So, a falling star is simply a sun that is just, I don't know what I said.
Well, it would be a great book
powerful.
title. A falling star is a rising sun.
You know, powerful little children's book or